Okay, in this video, we're gonna learn how to solve the code wars challenge where they give you an array and then a target value, and you have to return an array of arrays where it gives you subarrays that sum up to the target value. So for 222, it should give you 0, 1, 0, 2, and 1, 2, because all of those sum up to 4. And for this long one, it also works for negative numbers as well as floats, okay? So our function is called allSums, takes in an array and a target value. I'll do const final is an empty array, and we're gonna push arrays into this empty array. And then we're gonna do let current index is equal to -1. You'll see why. And then I'll do something called, I'll do a while loop. So we're gonna run this while the ARR array dot length is greater than 1, because we're gonna mutate this array. Okay. So inside of this while loop, we can say let's do const current value will be equal to ARR.shift. Okay, so shift will remove the first index of the array and returns its value inside of this variable. Yeah. All right. So now that we have that, all right. So then we can simply do current index plus plus, because remember, we started at -1. We pop off the first index. Our current index variable is now 0. What this does is that it saves the original index, right? So if we pop off this first two, it knows that the index that we just popped off is 0, and so on. Yeah, and then this will keep on increasing to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So after that, we can simply do a regular for loop. Let I equal 0, I less than AR.length, and then I plus plus. And then inside of this for loop, we can actually do, hey, if, so if what? If the current value plus AR at our current index, if that sum is equal to our target of value right here, then we know that we have a match, right? So when we have a match, all we need to do is final dot push, and we want an array of arrays, so we're gonna push in an array into an array, okay? So the first one is what? It's the first index, right? So we can simply just say, hey, current index, because remember, this variable keeps count of the current index. Now, how do we get the second index? The second index is actually a little bit harder. First, you would need to say, hey, what's the index of this right here that we added to the current value? So that is going to be I plus the current index, right? Because we're popping off the array, so we need to save the indexes. That's why this is increasing every iteration, right? And then since we don't want a repeat of the original index, we have to start searching at +1 like this. And that's actually all you need to do, okay? And the while loop itself will stop running once we only have one more value in our array, okay? So after all of this, after this while loop, we can just do console.log final, right? And then down here, I'll just call all sums. And then let's first put in this one. Let's see what we get. All sums like that. Let me put the parentheses and let me click save. Oh, maybe I don't need that. There you go. Okay, so we have 0, 1, 0, 2, and 1, 2. If I put in the really complicated one, let's see if we get the correct answers. Yep, you see that we get 0, 1, which matches here, and then 0, 5, 2, 3, and so on. And it works with negatives as well as floats. Okay? And if you do it this way using the while loop, you don't have to be confused with all the nested loops and stuff. All you need to understand is how this counter works, okay?